My ex-wife, who filed a restraining order against me, lives in the same apartment complex as I do. She told me to move to a different apartment, so I fought back in court. Now, she agrees to a no-contact order as she's surprised by how much I've changed. My ex-wife and I had a rocky marriage, and my alcoholism didn't help. She pushed for a divorce. We lived together during this divorce. One day, I found out she was dating another man. I snapped and hit her pretty hard. I was charged and spent 3 months in jail. I went to anger management, and I was also issued a 3-year restraining order. That was 2 years ago. I have since sobered up, met a wonderful woman, and moved to a completely different part of the city. I have never had any further contact with my ex-wife. I admit what I did was wrong. I paid the price. I've since re-established myself. The current woman with whom I've been in a relationship for 2 years is aware of my background. Unknown to me, my ex moved into my apartment complex about 5 months ago. She was with her now new husband, who had always lived here. I saw her in the lobby just before New Year's. She greeted me. I was shocked, but I said hello. She asked me what I was doing in the lobby. I said I was just coming in from work. She told me the restraining order was still in effect, and I needed to move out. I tried to reason with her and told her I'd be happy to steer clear of her. I know we don't live on the same floor. I told her if I saw her on an elevator, I wouldn't get in and just wait for the next one. She told me she was going to enforce the restraining order against me. My girlfriend and I signed a new 2-year lease 6 months ago. We love our place and wouldn't want to move. It feels unjust to move and incur financial hardship because the person I had a restraining order against moved into my apartment complex. I'm bringing this up because last night, building management was informed of the restraining order and told us we needed to figure this out. Could she force me out of my home even though I lived here before her? Shouldn't that be sufficient as long as I do my best to avoid any contact with her? I work a really early schedule, and the fact is she was dating this guy and coming over to this apartment complex for the entire time I've been here. We ran into each other, and she's been living here full-time for 5 months, and we just recently crossed paths. I don't know what to do. Update 1. The public defender that represented me was no longer practicing in the New Year City area, but I retained a lawyer who was a friend of a friend who had experience in this area. My lawyer got references from my prison officer, employer, and Alcoholics Anonymous sponsor. Our goal was to modify the restraining order to a simple no-contact order with no distance requirements, so I could continue living with my girlfriend. I spoke to the judge and told him my story and what I had done to correct my past transgressions. He reviewed my record. We submitted our references. During this period, I slept on a friend's couch to avoid violating my protective order. My prison officer said I had paid my fines, followed all the rules, never once had to remind me of my restrictions, and so forth. He was impressed with my turnaround. My employer said that I was always early, never seemed to be under the influence or hangover from anything, and even at our company functions, was very open and honest about my sobriety and didn't partake in drinking. My sponsor said good things about me too, how he was impressed with my maturity and openness about my alcoholism. Then, the judge asked my ex-wife to speak. My ex-wife said she was shocked by my turnaround. She said it seemed unfair to her to require me to move because she had unknowingly moved into my building. She said that she no longer felt threatened by me. This surprised both my lawyer and me, as I expected my ex to want to keep the protective order in place. The judge said he wouldn't modify the protective order but lift it entirely as he felt it had served its purpose. He said that based on my references, my testimony, and most importantly, the testimony of my ex, he didn't see how keeping it in place was beneficial anymore. He told my ex that if she ever felt threatened or in danger because of something I said or did, she could contact the police. The judge told me his main reason for lifting the order was to allow me to live in my current apartment. But he advised me it was a good idea to avoid contact with my ex to avoid potential complications. He reminded me it wouldn't take much to get another protective order put in place because of my past. I told the judge I had no intention of talking or contacting my ex. I was thrilled that I didn't have to move and get to stay with my current girlfriend. I moved back into my apartment with my girlfriend over the course of this weekend. I'm glad this was resolved.